What's the time?
Early morning.
Early morning.
7:30.
Hey, okay. I admire you being up anyway and keen to listen to Dhamma. It's about the most wisest thing I think anybody can do with their time. However, that always we know happens by conditions.
Hello, everybody. How do you feel, Sarah? You're muted.
Different. Yes, my voice.
Is it me or can nobody hear her?
Oh, yes, I was just saying my voice is very weak and my glands are swollen, so I'm just going to take it very easy and rest.
Oh, sorry to.
Hello, Carmen.
Hello.
Ajahn, are you here now?
I am here now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Ajahn. Sawadee-khap, Ajahn. Sawadee-khap.
Hi.
Sawadee-khap.
Ajahn.
Does anyone have a question or comment to start with? Alberto, you asked a question last time about being truthful to the truth. Did you, was anything said, did you find anything useful in that discussion?
Yeah, I remember as I'm explaining the Chatajika, Chitujukata and Kayojukata, and the straightness of
Straightening, I think it is. Straightening.
Yeah. Or the straightness.
Or straightness of Chitta and Jetasikas.
Not deviating, not not letting the situation take over. I don't know. Sounds very deep, very difficult. So easy to get bending towards towards a kusala. So natural, I think.
We also say that it refers to recognizing the development of understanding as being the most important thing in life, rather than following our own ideas and views?
Yes, because otherwise we talk about realities, but there is no basis for talking about it without the understanding of them. There is, it's just intellectual explanation, intellectual understanding. And as Ajahn explained, that's not enough for the truth, for being true, for the truth to appear. We need to understand better and better and better by condition. And listening a lot.
It always comes back to the understanding of the present moment, and we know that a factor, a condition for that understanding to develop is hearing the Dhamma, taking part in discussion, and considering what's been heard. So they are just different ways of, when we say something like being truthful to the truth, it's a different way of referring to the same thing, the importance of the understanding of the reality of the present moment.
Yeah, the reality of the present moment. It's now. Yeah.
Yes. Because only what is appearing now can be directly known.
And is the word now? Is it the meaning of the word? Is it now? Or is it,
in which context? When you say the meaning of the world, what is the
word?
context?
Yeah, like talking when talking about Dhamma and now, and
don't quite have because world can be used in different ways. So in one sense, the present moment realities there are 6 worlds. The world can be any one of 6 at the present moment, or it can be a reference to life in samsara generally.
yeah.
Or it can be a reference to the world of conditioned dhammas.
Yeah. Also, when listening, not the word, the word. When listening to
Word?
the word, yeah. When listening to the word, yeah.
WORD.
Yeah. When listening,
word.
when we hear the word, and we understand the words. And it's already moving away from now, because actually no word, no word, no.
Why is thinking about what has been heard, why do you refer to that as moving away from the present?
Like when following when following the word, their meaning, it's we need the words to understand the teachings, but we need more than that. We need the as you say, we need the reflection, considering, and that doesn't have to be in words. It can be like uh, like the characteristic of the reality, getting closer to the characteristic of the reality, which is what we call the truth, which is what
When you
we
talk
refer.
about hearing the word, are you talking about hearing the Dhamma?
Oh yeah, yes.
So it's hearing the Dhamma that's important, not the word.
But
as
it's not
such.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a condition for thinking about reflecting on the meaning of what has been heard.
And also for patipatti, pariyatti is condition for patipatti.
Well, the condition for pariyatti and patipatti are the same, aren't they? Hearing the Dhamma. Those four factors are the same, whether the outcome is pariyatti or patipatti. And of course, the pariyatti has to be developed to the extent that it's firm before pariyatti is conditioned. But the general four factors mentioned by the Buddha are the same, are those four factors, or whether it's pariyatti understanding or patipatti understanding, depending on the individual.
Yeah.
Hello, Alan. Nice to see you join us. Good morning. Do you have anything to bring up for discussion? While Alan's thinking about, I'll ask Panajan whether she has any.
Sorry. Yeah, I've having a bit of trouble with the computer. The updates didn't work, so I'm having to use the browser. So yeah, I just one thing that came up. I heard on the couple of weeks ago. Ajahn said that sati awareness is non-forgetfulness of what is wholesome, and because there is the understanding of what is wholesome and what is unwholesome, there are conditions for it to arise as satipatthana. It was something like that. So and that's a sort of yeah, it's a little bit of a different angle. So the understanding of what is wholesome and unwholesome can condition wholesomeness, if you like, as sati, as non-forgetfulness of wholesome. I don't know whether you could explain a bit more about that.
Well, if there's a moment of sati, I'll invite Ajahn to speak on that. But if there is sati, then the moment, the consciousness is already a moment of wholesome consciousness. So when we're talking about the function or characteristic of sati, it's all happening within that split-second moment that it arises with a wholesome moment of consciousness. So we can't think in terms of sati as a forerunner to wholesomeness, because it doesn't work like that. It's not a case of there's sati and then there's wholesome consciousness. They both occur together. But within that moment of consciousness, sati is performing its function of not being forgetful of wholesomeness.
And so we say that sati of satipatthana, the awareness of a reality, is actually just a type of wholesomeness. So to be not aware of a reality is unwholesome. Is that what we're trying to get at here? Is it?
The sati of satipatthana arises with the understanding of the reality. And so that moment of understanding of reality is a mundane, sometimes referred to as mundane path moment, because it is developing the path itself. And the sati that accompanies that moment of understanding or panya is of the same level or degree as are the other mental factors accompanying the panya at that moment.
So can we say that the intellectual understanding of what is wholesome and what is unwholesome is a condition for satipatthana?
Well, the understanding of what is wholesome and what is unwholesome, the intellectual understanding, is a condition for more wholesomeness and less unwholesomeness at those times, but not necessarily a condition for understanding of the present moment reality. So it's not key. It's not key to the development of the understanding of realities.
So when we talk about satipatthana, the patthana is the right object. So we have to understand what the right object is. And I suppose that involves a level of wholesomeness. Does it not? Because in order to understand what the right object is, there has to be wholesomeness to some degree. Would you say that?
When we talk about understanding what the right object is, that means understanding that the right object is a conditioned reality.
Yes.
It doesn't mean understanding what the right object for the next moment of understanding is.
The right to understand what the right object is involves wholesomeness, if you like, because, for example, what is touched is hardness. So if you have the view that it's my hand, that involves unwholesomeness. So there must be can we say there's a degree of wholesomeness there which is able to consider what is touched as not belonging to me or not something, that involves, that intellectual understanding involves some degree of wholesomeness.
If you're talking about a situation, then it's not that. That's not what we're talking about when we talk about the found of knowing what is the appropriate subject for awareness and understanding, for satipatthana. So
there almost seems
I'm
a
looking
disconnect.
now I'm looking now at the monitor, and if I'm thinking that it's not the monitor that's the object, it's visible object only, this is not what's being referred to. I mean, that's a kind of repetition of something I've heard and learned. It might be correct to say, yes, it's visible object rather than the computer screen, but there's no understanding in that necessarily.
Mhm. There almost is a bit of a disconnect between sati, which accompanies a wholesome reality, which is non-forgetful of wholesomeness, and satipatthana, which is the direct understanding of a reality. They seem to be a bit separate somehow. They don't seem to be connected. Do you see what I mean? That we have the definition
Well,
of
the sati of satipatthana is also non-forgetful of wholesomeness. But because the panya, because it is accompanied by panya rather than without panya, then it has that other effect as well.
Sati of satipatthana has to be wholesome, but also, I suppose, a higher degree of wholesomeness than say just being kind or generous, because
Very much so. Yes.
It involves the nobody there. So when we're normally kind, there's always the idea of I am being kind, I guess. So it is wholesome.
Not necessarily. It's not necessarily that there's an idea of self with other kinds of kusala. In fact, there can't be at the same moment, but
no, yeah.
They could be intermingled.
So it's a higher degree of wholesomeness, though. You say that satipatthana.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
By virtue of the panya.
Yeah.
And the purifying effect of the panya.
And by definition of what wholesomeness is, that must be, at that moment, no attachment at all of any kind. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
And do you know, as a sort of technical matter, do you know where that definition is in the Tipitaka itself? So I don't think I know where it is in the Tipitaka. Whereabouts is it said that mindfulness is non-forgetfulness of wholesome? It seems to be in the Abhidhamma, but I don't know whether
I
that's
couldn't
actually...
say exactly, but I do know that, yes, that wholesomeness is generally described as being not harmful to oneself or another, or beneficial to oneself and beneficial to others. And sati arises with every moment of wholesomeness. Okay, perhaps I could invite Ajahn Sachin to make some comments now that we've taken that discussion so far. Ajahn, are you there?
Yes. If we don't forget, we are talking about the very, very subtle reality, which takes time to consider carefully again and again and again to understand what is that, just one reality at a time. Otherwise, they are all mixed up right now. That's why the understanding of what is there is the beginning to letting go ignorance and attachment, to take it for something as usual. So if we can understand the truth of just one reality, it can be the understanding of that reality, no matter what degree, when it's there later. That's why understanding is so very, very it's very beneficial, because it conditions moment of letting go, at moment of understanding the truth of what is there, little by little. That's why letting go is not just try to do something or try to find out the meaning and so on, but no matter what word is there, it just talk about the truth of what is there now, any moment. That's why we learn to understand what is the meaning of studying Dhamma. Dhamma is whatever is real and what is there and when is there. Where is it to be studied, to begin to understand the truth of it, because it's there all the time in life, any moment, right now, different by conditions all the time. That's why it's so good to talk about just one reality at a time, to understand the truth of it, different level of it, different object, and different level of understanding the truth of it. Because it's there so subtle, even it's there, who knows? For example, where are Dhammas? See, where are Dhammas? Not far away at all. It's here, it's there, which is taken for I all the time at birth, from birth to death. Different Dhammas, where are they? Just right here. So very close. So each word just point to the understanding of what is there, which is mistaken for I or something all the time. That's why carefully consider the truth that it's there, but it's so very subtle, because even it's so close, and we just talk about it again and again, like seeing, hearing, hardness, softness, taste, and everything. It's not known yet, because we think of the word. The word is in Pali, and it's the old days language, but each word just pointed to the truth of what is there. So the meaning of it, which one takes for text like the grammar and so on, but what about the nature of it? Any word, we can change it, we can have it understood by our own way. Like sati, see, what is it? Where is it? It's real, it's not far away. When it arises, it's there. But no understanding of what is there from birth on and on to death, from life to life. That's why it's so subtle. At any moment of listening to the truth, it's there, so close. So is there sati right now? Sati is not hard. Sati is not taste. Sati is not sound. But it is a reality which arises and experiences the object different from other reality. That's why we learn that in truth, what we take for I is just only a moment of what is there together unknown, until it's known one by one, to understand that what is there in a moment is tangled all the time by many, many different realities, conditions to arise together and fall away. That's why even right now, is there sati? When there's no understanding of sati, no answer. But what is sati? It's a reality. And we heard about it, that it's a wholesome reality, cetasika, mental factor. No understanding of what is meant by mental factor or anything before, and learn to understand what is there. Each moment we talk about seeing, hearing, thinking all the time, but the studying of the truth of it is when it's there arising and appearing to be known as what we have heard, as not self. That's why so many mental realities and that which cannot experience anything at all, from moment to moment, unknown, until it's known gradually, little by little, with firm confidence of the truth of it, until we heard about satipatthana, but without understanding what is there. Can there be satipatthana? Impossible. That's why we learn to understand each reality which is there. For example, right now, at moment of understanding, There is sati, who knows? But sati is not right understanding. But right understanding just cannot arise without sati and other condition. That's all. In a moment. That's why the understanding of each moment, the understanding of what is there so close, begin to understand that at moment when something appears like hardness, when there is touching, hardness is there and touching is there too. No one there at all. When we think about the truth of that which is so close, we take for my body, my hand or my head and so on. When it's touched, no hand, no head, but it's their hardness, see. At that moment of understanding, that is not only right understanding, there is sati and other wholesome mental factors too. Cetasika arising. Gradually understanding the truth is gradually let go ignorance and attachment, no other way at all. And understanding the truth of it, no doubt about the fourth of the Four Noble Truths. It's there right now at moment of beginning to understand. Not I, no one. Hardness is there, touching is there. The reality which experiences is there. And hardness is there. No thought about hand or head or leg or arms at all. That's why we learn that in a moment, what is there is not only one reality. They are conditioned to arise together, experience the same object, and fall away. Different ones, different function, all gone. So we learn to understand each reality, not just sati, but other reality too, to understand that sati arises with what reality? Whether that it arises with right understanding or not moment of right understanding, but it's there. See, little by little, it's there, here. The world is here, no matter what world, the universe, and also whatever is there, sun, moon, is there at moment of hearing or thinking or considering or whatever. From moment to moment, it's there so close. That's why we are studying the truth of what is there to understand it. What is there as leg or arm or thinking or hearing or liking is not far away at all. It is there, so close, only one appearing and then gone by conditions. Letting go what is taken for my body or my head or my thought or my seeing, that they are just by conditioned and then gone. So shall we talk about just one reality, no matter it is sati or whatever, to understand more and more, again and again and again, gradually letting go misunderstanding or wrong understanding or ignorance and attachment. Little by little, this is pariyatti. Otherwise, we talk about sati, but not know whether it's there now or not. What moment? Moment of understanding, or moment of thinking, or moment of whatever is there as it is. As it is to be known. Otherwise, it's not the study of the world or I or whatever is there as we used to take it for. So now, what shall we talk about? Just one reality, more subtle, little by little. And at that moment of understanding, it let go wrong understanding, ignorance, and attachment. Not at the moment at all. Otherwise, it is thinking about the word, the meaning, the translation, and so on. But in truth, each word just point to the truth of what is there in word, in any language, as one can understand it. For example, the meaning of sati, the translation of it, is awareness. What does it mean? See, we try to understand, to be aware of whatever is there, which is wholesome. To be aware, if people do not study Dhamma, to be aware, what does it mean? Just aware of anything, be aware of anything, be aware of what is there. No understanding, what does it mean, or what reality is there. That's why learn to understand the nature of the reality, which is so close. It's there all the time. No matter we think that I'm going, I'm sitting, I'm cooking, it's there all the time. The study of the truth is study what is there, which is not known as it is at all. To be moment of understanding the truth, little by little. At moment of touching, no one at all, no leg, no hand at all, no idea at all. That's why we learn to understand moment to moment as it is, not together at all. For example, hardness there must be the reality which experiences it, not only there two realities, but there are many cetasika together to learn little by little to understand in truth what is there in just a moment, very short moments, in split seconds. What are there? Unknown until it's known, and the development of understanding, letting go, the idea of something permanent or everything is permanent. But that is only intellectual understanding, not enough. The truth can be realized more and more subtle and more subtle. The panya and sati develops on and on and on until it has clear understanding of what is there, which is heard before many, many times, or many, many years, or many years and years, to realize the truth that it's there right now. Now is there sati? If not yet, can there be a little more understanding, talking about it, different degree or level, different objects, to understand the truth? What is there before hearing the truth and after hearing the truth?
So what other words can we use for sati? So we say awareness, but that can mean different things to different people. We appear well. That's another, I think, another expression we can use, that when a reality appears well, like hardness, then there is sati. So what other words can we use for sati other than awareness?
Any word about the truth of this moment, any word about the truth of this moment. One reality at a time is there to be known, because they're all together in a moment and then gone. If you don't know what are there, how can they be appear well?
Right.
At moment of understanding, begin to understand that what in life does not appear well at all. Even
Everything.
it seems like we see clearly, but it does not appear well because it's gone instantly. The object and the scene in the day. So does anything appear well now? Impossible. They appear together, but they are not together in truth, because each one is just one at that very moment. They do not know each other at all. Just conditioned to be there and then gone. No understanding anything at all. It does not know each other. See, Phassa does not know Chitta, and Chitta does not know Sanya, but they arise together, fall away together. In truth, from life to life, all are gone, even right now. And thinking about death and birth, just two different moments arising one after the other, like when Chitta, which perform the function of death, gone, it conditioned the next moment by Anantarapatya or Atapatya to be next moment, next life. No remembrance of what has been before at all, previously. Like today will be tomorrow, yesterday. See? And we think, and when time comes, today is the past, the previous day of tomorrow, and the future of the past, yesterday. Today is the future of yesterday, right? And today is now would be yesterday for tomorrow. Today will be yesterday for tomorrow. All gone. But when it's not yet tomorrow, it seems so very important. But it's gone all the time from moment to moment until tomorrow. So today is just yesterday of tomorrow. When tomorrow comes, what is now all gone. But when it's not gone yet, it seems so very important. What shall we do? What can we do? What will we do? And so on. So very important. But in truth, they will be gone when tomorrow comes. Today is yesterday for tomorrow, of tomorrow. All gone each moment. So tomorrow comes, no thought about now as yesterday, what did I do? So just learn to understand the truth of life is just here and now, so close. And so many things are conditioned to be moment to moment in life, that's all. From life to life, the truth is that actually all dhammas are anatta, no one. It's only the way it is, just be conditioned reality, arising and falling away, non-stop, never stop as long as there are conditions. For what arises, it has to arise. Today will come, tomorrow will come, see. But it depends on the function of citta. The moment of death can be right now, between moment of seeing and hearing, and birth follow instantly. New life, never remember what is that just a moment ago. All gone. That's why the most precious moment is moment of understanding the truth, which is covered up, and then it can be opened up at moment of hearing the right word about the truth and consider the truth of it. Begin to understand what was there yesterday or a long time ago, and on tomorrow, and on and on. No one at all. No I. Thinking gone, hearing gone. Tomorrow or next moment can be next life, instantly. So we can talk about the truth little by little, not just think about the book and the word. Each word is so true, and it's there, right here, so close. The world, the universes and everything, the sun and the moon, thinking about it, it's just right here. No one at all. This is the beginning to get closer and closer, deeper and deeper, subtle and more subtle of the word Dhamma and Anatta, no matter what we talk about, it's Dhamma and Anatta. And it's so precious to understand the truth, the ultimate truth of what is there now, not permanent, no one, only realities arise and fall away from moment to moment. Nothing can be done. When it's time for death, it's there. And after that, new life again as this life began. Is this sati at moment of understanding, not forgetting the meaning, the word, the truth. So learn to understand sati, not just the word. And more than that, it's taught by the Buddha from the very beginning about what is there is conditioned. And what are there together by condition? Nothing can be done. It's there and then gone. Right now, each moment. So now, understand each word of the truth. What appears does not appear well. Beginning to understand the meaning of appears well, not as it is at all. So ignorance is very dark, so very dark. Even there's light and many things now, no understanding at all. From moment to moment, so dark, not to understanding what is there. Until the light is there, beginning to understand the very, very precious reality, the understanding of the truth begins from hearing, considering, understanding what is there at different moments. For now, there can be moment of understanding, sight or seeing, and that which is seen is there from birth, but no understanding of it until time comes by conditions. At moment of hearing, considering, and understanding, what moment is sati? Begin to understand, so very close about the very, very tiny truth, so very tiny in split seconds, gone. But right understanding can develop because there is the word of truth from the one who has enlightened the truth. So true that if there's no understanding of the truth, everyone lives in darkness from life to life, more and more darker and darker because of ignorance and attachment and unwholesome moments in and there. This morning, up to now, is there any kusala moment? If not, ignorance and attachment pile up, collected on and on and on, accumulated on and on and on and on and on. That's why no doubt about eons and eons developing understanding to realize the truth, which is so very subtle. The more understanding, the more subtle it is. That's why intellectual understanding is just the beginning of being careful to understand the truth, which is so very precious. If no one sees the precious, subtle of understanding of the truth, that person cannot understand Dhamma or cannot understand the truth of what is there right now. Seeing is there, no understanding. What is seen is there, no understanding. That's why I begin to be very careful, considering what is there, closer and closer and closer, gradually, not by eye, but by conditions. more subtle and more subtle to let go. The very crafty lopa, which is all there in the corner from moment to moment, before it can be eradicated together with wrong understanding of self, of things that actually nothing is there at all, but covered up. It's I am speaking, I'm on the bed or on the chair. See, in truth, nothing is there because it's gone each moment. It's a truth, anatta, Dhamma. So we can study a little more of each word because they are Dhamma, which is anatta, sunyata, never to arise again. So each moment is by condition, the accumulation of conditions to just speak in this way or that way, to think of this or that. Each moment is conditioned, but ignorance thinks about future, what is there, what will be, what it is, and so on. But what is already gone by condition, each moment, unknown. That's why the moment of all Dhammas, right understand what is that moment of all Dhammas. Instead of trying to think more about other things as Dhamma that we are interested to know. Is this true? And that is to be truthful to the truth. Until what appears now appears well, and what is meant by appear well, only one at a time. Because when they are together, nothing can appear well. Arise together, fall away together, does not appear as just one reality. Is experienced with what? Ignorance or understanding, or sati, or panya, or metta. So many realities in a day, in life, from life to life. All Dhammas, again and again and again. Because no matter what we are talking about, it's just one of all Dhammas. Is this life? Is it true? Everyone has to leave this world, no matter when. It doesn't matter. It can be any moment. Unknown, it cannot be known. Like the moments between seeing and hearing. Life is changed from what is there now to be other things. Like, who am I? What condition? What is there now? No one. But as long as it's there, it's still I, until it cannot be I anymore, by conditions. So conditions for next life is now too. Whatever is there in this life will be conditioned for next life to arise, on and on and on. Who can stop the way it is? Dhammata, the way it is. It, no one, not I.
And I think Alan, as Ajahn has mentioned, to keep in mind that when understanding develops, so does mindfulness. It's tempting to think in terms of having mindfulness as a clearing the way for understanding, but that's not how it works. both mental factors arise together by conditions, and just as there are many other wholesome mental factors arising with the moment of understanding, and each performing their function, and just as it's not necessary to know those other mental factors in detail, so in terms of the mindfulness, the sati, the awareness, it is there by virtue of the understanding also. And I just thought I'd read a brief extract from one of the texts, which I think is the source of what you asked originally about not being forgetful of kusala. It says that mindfulness, searching well the courses of advantageous and disadvantageous states, or quote, these are disadvantageous states, misconduct in body, etc., removes the disadvantageous states and acquires the advantageous ones. These are advantageous states, good conduct, etc. So that's another way of saying that sati attends to the wholesomeness and is not forgetful of the wholesomeness. Sati is able to discriminate that. So whether that is a description of sati doing its work in the moment of a single citta, or whether it's just a general description.
Well, I think that what you've said just does say that does mean the same thing, doesn't it?
It does mean the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, it does mean the same thing. And I think the point is that also with Satipatthana, it is a higher degree of wholesomeness. It's searching out what is the precious moment, the high degree of wholesomeness, because it leads to the destruction of all unwholesomeness.
Yes,
beginning with the idea of, pardon?
Eventually, yes.
Yes, yeah. And that begins with the idea of self has to go before anything else goes. But once that's gone, then you can see that actually everything else is going to go as well sooner or later. But without understanding realities as not self, then there cannot be detachment from the idea of self. So it has to be understanding reality, which is wholesome, a higher degree of wholesomeness. Yeah. It'd be useful to know where that came from in the, you can put in the chat or something.
It's actually also quoted or referred to in Nina's Chetasikas, but I'll put something on the list. And that was from the
Great. Just give me a reference on that.
Atasalini, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Atasalini,
I'll put it on the list. Yeah, I'll put it.
So that's the commentary to the Dhamma Sangini, isn't it? So that's from the Atasalini, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
The commentary, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
okay.
You could track it down through Nina's Chetasikas.
Yes, I can get it through. I knew that it was in the commentaries. I didn't see it in the.
Yeah.
Didn't know where it was in the Tipitaka itself. But yeah, I know. I know she quoted from the commentaries on that particular one. Well, having said that, I mean, it was. I think originally it was a lecture, wasn't it? They're from the Chetasikas is from Ajahn's lectures, I think.
Yes, I think it is. So it's originally from Ajahn, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Tana Janka, last week we were talking about Kayujikata and Chittujikata. Now, and that's the last of the Sobhana Chaitasikas. And we have the first seven, which are, Saddha, Sati, Hiriyottapa, and so on. I'm just curious, why don't we have a Sad Ujjikata and Chitta Sad Ujjikata and Kaya Saddha Ujjikata and so on? It seems that because it is said that with regards to Chitta Ujjikata, this is the Chaitasika that conditions the chitta it accompanies to be resolute and sincere in the application of wholesomeness. Couldn't we say that about Saddha also, in terms of if you had Chitta Chitta Sadhujjikata or something like that? Why aren't my simple question is, why aren't those first seven Sobhana Chaitasikas, excuse me, Tanajan, why aren't those first seven Sobhana Chaitasikas also divided into pairs, like the last 12 are?
To realize the truth, what can be known and what cannot be known, and try to think about that which cannot be known, and what about that which can be known right now.
That's okay. I understand.
That's so very subtle. Each one, not just only the 6 pairs. Who knows they are there all the time when the moment of kusala is there. By all these mental factors or citasika, it means that wholesomeness arises so very, very rare, because there are so many conditions for akusala in different manners all day in one's life, almost. So very little moment, very short moment of wholesomeness. That's why no doubt ignorance and attachment and all akusala realities just arise and accumulated on and on, while panya begins to develop with patience and all parami, no doubt at all. Without parami, how can there be a moment of even just kusala? And kusala with right understanding, different degrees, it has to be developed carefully because it's so close to akusala, like metta. See, one cries when one thinks that one is metta. Is that true? So many moments are not known at all. That's why we learn to be truthful to the truth, to know each different reality is so very subtle. Even they are there. In a moment gone, which one can be known? It's that which is now appearing only. And who knows that can be known by accumulation? Who knows about the future? Even just the next moment is not known. So what about the accumulation of conditions of whatever is there now, condition any moment of what is there as it is? Even right now is conditioned.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Can it be known without expectation, but only by conditions? Unexpected, what is the object of understanding at different levels, pativeta and so on, all are unexpected. by conditions. So the understanding no one at all begins to develop gradually. And the proof is in a day. What moment is kusala, of what degree.
Ajahn, it seems like we also need reminders for just ordinary kusala, even for because as you explained.
Sorry to interrupt, Alberto. Could you speak a little louder? I think Ajahn will have difficulty hearing it. I have difficulty hearing it. Thanks.
Yeah,
Start again.
I was saying that we need reminders even for ordinary kusala, because in a day, as Ajahn was explaining, it's not many moments of kusala, even ordinary kusala. And so, but when we have reminders of the reality of the Dhamma, it's much, we cannot relate as we can relate with just with dana and with metta and with sila, which we all know a little bit about it, even if we don't have much accumulation of it, but still we have a little bit. But for the reminders about the reality, the reminders about the truth of the present moment, that's a different. That's much more difficult to follow up on the reminder, because if we have little kusala, we still have even less panya. So, but thank you, Ajahn, for reminders even for ordinary kusala. For we also, these are precious because they are support for the for other types of kusala, I think.
Right understanding, understand that very subtle truth. If there's the idea that what is that is not so subtle, it's wrong. That's why learn to understand the study of what is there right now is the only way to let go ignorance and heedless, thinking that it's not so deep. That's why do not listen carefully, that each word just talk about the truth, the ultimate truth of what is there, which is so deep and so very subtle. And this understanding, let go, wrong understanding that it's so easy, just take the word, that's all. But understanding the truth, which is very subtle, this is only panya, which can understand how subtle each reality is. It is panya. See, so panya says what is wholesome and what is unwholesome. No one can do anything, no one can force or try to make anything to arise. So just a moment of kusala is by condition. Without condition, that moment cannot be kusala, see. That's why understanding the worth or the value of kusala moment does one will not let go any moment of wholesomeness to be done, to be accumulated, even it's so little, because if there is no just a very short moment of kusala, a kusala must be there, more and more accumulated. That's why only Panya can understand the truth, that what is wholesome and what is unwholesome, and what are conditions for unwholesomeness, or what is condition for a moment of wholesomeness. No one there at all. That's why Panya understands the truth of everything. Even right now, what is there appearing is so subtle, because not enough understanding, even by way of intellectual understanding. That's why intellectual understanding is the first, because without it, how can there be the understanding of the very subtle moment or reality right now? So that kind of thinking cannot let go the truth, the ignorance of the truth at all. And this is the only way. Right understanding is there anytime. It is the base of the foundation of kusala, all kind of kusala, depending on condition. Before hearing the teachings, no understanding of more wholesomeness in a day, just do good, but no understanding of the truth, what is there. That's why it's so subtle to begin to see or to understand how subtle what reality is at any moment. Right now, seeing so subtle. The object which is seen is so subtle, it does not appear as it is. And this is the development of the path. This is the path leading to careful considering to understand the truth, little by little, until it conditions the second round of the truth. Patipatti, not by anyone's will, but by conditions. It's there. So the anatthaness of all realities develop at moment when it's there, unknowingly, no expectation at all. It's there by condition, firmer and firmer. What is there has to be by condition only. That's why understanding the subtlety of all dhammas is the only way which will get closer and closer to each one carefully. Otherwise, it cannot be known at all. That's why the first round of the Four Noble Truths conditions the understanding of the subtlety of all dhammas, which are anatta. So anatta develops on and on. Not atta tries so hard to understand the truth or try to understand the word. That's why just one reality is taught by different words too, at different level. For sati, see, and satipatthana, or satindriya, until sati sampodchong, pochanka. Just learn about the truth. That is the only way to let go wrong understanding and ignorance and attachment, little by little. So natural right now, not other moments. The moment of hearing, considering, understanding, more subtly, more subtle and more subtle, is the only way to understand the truth, which is so subtle. The accumulation of each one is not known at all until it's there in life. What is there must be by condition from life to life. Even right now, thinking is conditioned from the past life to life, on and on, until it's now thinking this way, talking this way. Understanding or clinging, all by conditions. And who knows that this is the path of the Eightfold Path, the only way to realize the truth, because it's so true. But the truth of it is covered up by the rapidity and ignorance of the truth, on and on and on and on. Is this the answer
That's
for the question?
yes, that's the answer. We keep on listening, but no matter how much we listen, it is still not enough. It's far, very, very far from being enough. No matter we listen even 24 hours a day or 7 days a week or for years, because one lifetime is not enough.
Never enough, because even just a moment of understanding is just like touching the knife handles until it's worn away. And the handle of the knife is so very big, and only a moment of touching, say just touching, understanding, little by little, is the only way for ignorance to run away.
And Alberto, I think you'll agree. I mean, this is my impression that we are listening to learn how to listen better.
Yeah. Yeah. So we need to learn to listen.
So we can talk about any word of the teachings. They are there, represent realities right now. The more understanding, the more a little letting go.
Right. And that's why there is so much attachment, because there is little understanding, very little.
See, even each moment right now, when there's no understanding or not enough understanding, there are conditions for ignorance again and again. But what is so true can be learned little by little until it appears as it is. Until then, by conditions.
Does anyone else have a question or comment they'd like to bring up? I see we're getting close to closing time.
So the same question, what is there now?
Alberto, would you like to answer Ajahn question?
Sure. Um, there is the opportunity to listen now. There is the hearing of the teachings now. There is then the words of the Buddha are heard. And the thinking about it, which is the condition for understanding all other realities as well, for understanding the truth of what is there now, understanding a little better the truth instead of the idea of the world. Of what is not true. So it's an unbelievable opportunity to not to be deceived by the realities. Really, so rare. That's why it's so difficult, because it's so. It's so difficult because it's so rare, and it's so rare because it's difficult. But it's now unbelievable. Thank you, Jan.
That was a very lengthy answer to a question of what is now. Bit of a story, shall we say? I think Ajahn was asking for something more direct.
Even there's no word about it or words about it. It's only something in mind, not in word, even not in word. See, it's something. Always there. Kamasava, Chitasava, Avijjasava, Apavasava. See, unknown until Buddha pointed out what is there. If there's no understanding of the truth, it's something, no matter what is there. And if it's sound, what is it? See, something again in mind, always something. That's right, learn to understand that ignorance is always there when there is no understanding of the truth of it. According to asava, asava is there, so something is there. Even not in word. That's why it does not appear well, more and more subtle, until the understanding of what is there begins to be understood. Gradually, little by little. But it doesn't matter at all, because everyone has avijja, different degrees, at different moments in a day. See, be truthful to the truth. Moments of avijja and akusala. So even just a moment of moments of kusala is so very, very precious, because at that moment, no more accumulation of akusala, just even a moment, less and less. So rare, but it is the way it is. It takes quite a long time to be truthful to the truth. We live in darkness, and the light is there, not clear and strong enough to understand what is there. It takes quite a long time with patience, khanti and virya and satya, adhidana, or parami, beginning to understand without parami. The truth cannot be realized at all. Even it's there so true, so real, but ignorance is there, covers up the truth. But the word of truth of it can be learned gradually to let go, not to I have more understanding and so on. Keep on, say, virya and khanti to understand what is there. Is it true? What is there? And ignorance cannot understand ignorance. What is there? Ignorance is there. Right?
Right.
The truth is the truth. It can be known, it can be learned, it can be realized, but not with ignorance of what is there.
The ignorance of the ignorance of samsara, the ignorance
And the way to have no samsara anymore, if there's no way, but there is way. And the way is so very subtle, but so great, because it can let go ignorance, attachment, and all kinds of akusala and kusala at the end. And this is the word of virya, right? Virya katha.
must be.
Not to be discouraged. But be happy to know the truth. It's so true, it cannot be changed, it can develop. Until then, better than none at all.
Yes.
So it's time again. May I say